makes the well whole, but it is the stream of water which adds force, drives the particles of water that makes the well whole. Similarly, the energy centers are located in the functioning body of our constitution, not at all the structural body which we call our physical body. These energy centers exist in the innermost tube of the vertebral column as certain centers. Centers not by physical location, but centers of functioning and centers of force, like the poles of a magnet. The poles of a magnet are not made up of the iron of the magnet. They exist on the plane of forces and not the plane of molecules. Similarly, the various energy centers in our body also. These centers make the body assimilate food and drink and air. That capability of assimilation is what we call strength in Ayurveda, and not the quantity or quality of food that is assimilated. So, in the study of the various substances, the substances that are to be used along with medicine are divided into two groups. The one is nutritives, that is, those that are capable of opening up the centers in the etheric body. In Sanskrit, they are called Jivaniyas. The word Jivaniya means nutritive, and the other group of food substances are called Shamyas. Shamya means equalizer. That is, whenever the triangle of the centers of force is unequal, you are expected to make it equal by using certain substances. And those substances that can re-establish the equilibrium in the etheric body are called Shamyas or equalizing agents. Among the first group, milk is given as the foremost substance. All living lactoses, that is not malted milk or dehydrated milk, but living milk. It may be cow milk or buffalo milk, but the milk should not be preserved milk to serve this particular purpose. So, you are expected to take a dose of medicine along with 3 or 4 ounces of unboiled milk, because boiled milk is chilled milk. They may cater to our taste, just as coffee caters to the taste of Krishnamacharya, but they are most unwelcome to the etheric body which knows only truth. The etheric body has no obligations with any one of us, because it exists on the plane of the properties of matter and substances. These properties belong to nature, and they are not the property of your grandfather's property or my grandfather's property. So, the plane of properties of matter and force never has any obligations with any one of our customs or beliefs. And milk when boiled and any food when cooked is called corpse of food in Ayurveda. And when we have to take some medicine in Ayurveda, we are expected to take it along with a cup of unboiled raw fresh milk. And the foremost substance among the equalizing agents is honey. So either honey or milk form the base of the administering of a dose of ayurvedic. Not that they contain medicinal properties, but simply because they are purely non-medicinal in their nature, and the one is wonderfully nutritive to any constitution, let it be very, very delicate and feeble. See how the child can digest mother's milk within minutes and hours. So it is the arrangement of nature, and honey is the equalizing agent. And if anyone says that a diabetes patient should not take honey, the statement is as foolish as it is unscientific. You can safely try with any diabetes mellitus patient that if he daily takes honey, 1 tablespoon of honey and the juice of 1 fresh lemon along with 4 ounces of warm water as the first item in the morning, and you can try it upon any diabetic patient. And remember, I will be here before you next year by these dates, and you can surround me and you can hit me if any harm is being done. So, diabetes is not a disease where sugar is to be destroyed from the urine to show a reading of sugar nil in the clinical test. It is a disease where the valuable tissues and glucoses are escaping through sugar because of the valuable tissue, disturbance in the valuable tissue of insulin in our body. What is the use of chemically neutralizing the sugar being produced and showing a nil in the clinical test? The real treatment lies in rectifying some defect in the constitution, which is allowing the valuable tissues escape. So, one of the fundamentals of Ayurveda is don't administer any medicine without a food base, because food material is defined as the medicine that preserves life. You may try to treat the disease with medicine, but before that you should establish the equilibrium between the pulsations and the matter of the physical body. And you see, among the first group, gooseberry is considered to be one of the foremost. And there is the formula of a very famous product in Ayurveda, which is used through thousands of years among the traditional families of India. We use it in the junctions of seasons. And if you directly come to my residence in Redolph's apartment today, you will find 1 tin of that particular substance, the product made of gooseberry, the formula of which is as old as 12,000 years according to the written evidence. And in our families, we are instructed how to produce certain products like the gooseberry product. And we can prepare them and use them. And we, the members of all our families, will be frequently using those products. That product is called Prasha in Ayurveda. It is a very delicious product, first established and produced by a scientist called Chavana. And since it is produced by the sage Chavana and made to eat by his patients, it is called Prasha after his name. And such products are there to work as the basis of any medicine. And anyone safely can take this product, Prasha, and eat it at the junctions of seasons. And after 3 or 4 years of such use, they find that they require no medicine at all frequently. And there will be an automatic healing of the whole system. It mainly contains the pulp of the gooseberry fruit, honey, and some wonderful non-medicinal herbs. One aspect of Ayurveda. Another aspect is what we are expected to observe when our health is not to be disturbed. That is the most practical part of Ayurveda. There are certain items which we are expected to make a note in our mind. The first principle is make it a habit to get up before sunrise in the morning. And then spend about half an hour with yourself and without anyone. Then during that half an hour, you make a mental picture of the next 24 hours. That is your routine for the next 24 hours. And mark the timings of your duties and obligations to others. What you have promised to others, what are your appointments with others, and what are expected by you of others. Just have the watch fixed in your mind and try to make your movements more systematized day by day, so that when you move from place to place to cater the fixed program, you move mentally leisurely, though physically speedy. That is, instead of being busy, you can be active and leisurely. You can keep any speed to the programs, but it is enough if you do not have any speed in the mind. Once it is said, once if your mind learns to pick up speed, remember that it is leading you to the grave prematurely. This is one peculiar thing advised. Because the same Ayurveda teaches us that there is a music in the inhalation and exhalation. That there is a rhythm and a beat in the activities of inhalation and exhalation, and there is the same rhythm and beat in the heartbeat. And as age advances to us, we are capable of disturbing that music and marring that rhythm. And whenever you are mentally in a hurry, the music of your respiration will be disturbed, and the music of your heartbeat will be disturbed. So, the pulsations which are protecting you hitherto will be like the handwriting of an insane killer. So, whenever we are agitated in the mind, the music of the respiration is disturbed. Whenever we are angry, it is disturbed. Whenever we are jealous, it is disturbed. Whenever we have any malice or ill will towards anyone, it is disturbed. Whenever we have fear, it is disturbed. So, whenever there is the activity of the beast in us, which we call the emotional disturbance, it is disturbed. Whenever we run for a bus, it is not expected to be disturbed. But the awful thing is, we begin to run mentally before we run physically. Whenever we are running to catch an aeroplane, we are mentally traveling with a greater speed than the aeroplane before we sit down in the plane in the airport. Even after sitting, if there is some delay in the takeoff of the plane, we are mentally taking off into planes that are higher than the aeroplane. Especially we have our own airlines on the mental plane, and those airlines are what we call the astral plane. So, when there is a delay in the takeoff, we have a very speedy takeoff of our thoughts in our mind, and the heart palpitates, and the palms and legs transpire, and the lungs begin to work too much. This is what we are doing by way of nasty experiments with the instrument which we call the body. Because we don't know how valuable this vehicle is. We are not scientific yet to understand the damage that is being done to this vehicle. So, during the day, he asks us to manipulate your programs without any mental speed, so that you may not be program-minded during your moments of the day. Keep up the program physically but not mentally. That is the first advice he gives us. And then the next advice is, during the same half an hour before sunrise, you try to assess the position of your health yesterday and at present for today. See if the digestive system is active or dull. See if the body is feeling light or heavy. See if the head is alright or having vertigos. See if the mind is free from the instinct to sleep even after a night's sleep. Or is it grumbling to sleep more than you want to get? And then you just have an idea of the menu of that day for your body. And when once you make up your mind during the few minutes about your that day's menu, don't allow anyone to enter into that thing run during the day. That is the one thing which is almost impossible to be oxidate. Nature has no compromise with us. That's why he said, if you want to have an active body up to the last moment, these principles are only for those who want to have an active body up to the last moment. Others need not bother about it, and others need not find fault with the author of Ayurveda. How the examination papers are for those only who accept to sit for the examination. If you do not propose to appear for the examinations, they don't mean any tension to you. They are as good as any newspaper. And then, after the half an hour, he says, you make a recital of any single line from any scripture, and then come out to take your routine. You have your mouthwash and teeth cleaning with the sticks of some trees that are living. That means you have to take the stick of the tree fresh the previous day or that day to clean your teeth. Any harmless tree of your climate can be selected. In India, the tree margora is recommended because it is the very commonly occurring plant in India, as well as one of the very healthy plants, and it is famous as health-giving plants in India. It is the same as the homeopath calls the medicine Ayurveda indica. Ayurveda, okay, yes. Like that, you can select any tree that is according to your climate. For some people, he prescribes the banyan tree, the stick. Those who suffer from acidity and apathy in the mouth, they are asked to use the living banyan stick daily. And those who are having an alkaline stomach, that is, those who suffer from less of acids in the stomach, for example, dyspepsia, for them the margora tree is recommended. And for those who have pyoreal troubles and foul breath, the mango tree stick is recommended because it contains not only the healing agents of the gums and the teeth, but also it carries a wonderful perfume with it, which lives with the breath for about 3 hours after you use the stick. Like this, he prescribes certain things. And then we are expected to take an oil bath once in a week. Daily we are expected to apply some oil to the joints with our own hands. 15 minutes before we take our bath. And we are prohibited from allowing others to give us the oil and massage, because our way of applying oil to all the joints, it provides us with the required amount of exercise to the muscles and nerves, and it necessitates all the bends and curves we have to make. so that even the laziest goose who has no time to conduct some yoga or physical culture will have automatically minimum, irreducibly minimum physical exercise. About food habits, he instructs us in the following way. First of all, decide if you want to eat once a day, twice a day, or thrice a day, or 4 times a day. Even 10 times you are permitted. But let the timings be fixed, so that the digestive functions and the juices and their production may know their time properly. And let there be no unpredictability to the functions of your digestive system. See, what is the fate of the poor housewife whose husband is an awful drunkard and a gambler, who visits home for supper one day by 10:30 p.m., another day by 12, third day by 2 a.m., and some days by 3:30 a.m., and the next day 7:30 p.m., with 5, 6 or 10 of his friends as unexpected guests. Then you consider the helplessness of the poor housewife that has to provide these fellows, the vagabonds and loafers who follow her husband. The same will be the fate of your stomach if there is no predictability of time for eating. That is the next instruction he does. Have your own timings for food. You can prescribe your own timings according to your own duties and daily routine and the type of office you have. It's not necessary that all people should be prescribed at the same time, exactly same hour and minute for dinner or supper. Let the university professor have his own time. Let the merchantman have his own time. Let the notary have his own timings. Let the doctor have his own timings. According to the type and nature of the profession, prescribe your own timings for your own food. But stick to the timings without any mental tension of program. That is the next advice he gives us. And about the applying of the oil to the body, he prescribes either coconut oil or sesame oil or butter to the body. Or according to our climate and availability, we can also use olive oil or almond oil, and in some climates, oil of the mustard. So according to the availability and the custom and habit, you select a valuable and healthy type of oil to apply to the body daily. And it is imperative for you to apply oil after a bath also, especially to a little child. From the first day, first wash onwards, the child is given oil to the head after bath, and oil to the head and body before bath. When diseases to the optical functions are warded off throughout the life. Statistics tell us that among those races and nations who take oil bath daily, the percentage of those who need the glasses for their eyes is very, very little. So that is one instruction according to Ayurveda. Another instruction is don't eat or drink too cool or too hot things, because it is very rarely you can preserve your teeth when you take too cold and too hot things. The enamel of the teeth will be easily broken by the jerks in temperature you produce to the teeth, and especially when you take coffee after ice cream or ice cream after coffee, you can be sure that at least 30% of your teeth are decayed before you are 30 years of age.